How about we put our phones down and we can make 10 seconds of unobstructed family eye contact. Starting now. See, this is good right here. This is natural. Hold on a second.
What's a Furby?
Why would someone build that?
Welcome one and all to an all-new movie review. So we're going to be talking about a new movie that just got released out on Netflix this past week, and is a CGI animated film that was originally supposed to be released in theaters back in 2020, but ended up getting pushed back because of the pandemic. So we're going to get right into that film. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on this video or any other awesome videos. And also, don't forget to hit that bell notification button so that you're alerted when new videos pop up. And as always, people, if you enjoy my content and want to see other cool factoids and all that kind of fun stuff, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, where I post cool content pretty much on a daily basis. Oh yeah. So like I said before, let's get right into this! Welcome one and all to an all-new movie review. So like I was saying before, we're going to be talking about a new movie that just got released on Netflix this past week. Like I said, was originally intended for theaters, but ended up getting bought up by Netflix and released this past week. That, of course, is the CGI animated film distributed by Columbia TriStar Pictures, known as The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Oh yeah, The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Ooh. So Mitchells vs. Machines is a great CGI animated film that actually I just had the pleasure of rewatching just recently. I watched it initially when it released, and then I just watched it today as well. And it is just a superb and such a well-done animated flick that I was really shocked at how good of a film this was. It's not like your typical animated film. It's a lot along the lines of actually a live-action film that just blew my mind. It was so amazing, and just the artistry and the artwork in this film was just super superb as well. Now, this film is directed by the first-time director, Mr. Michael Rinda! Oh yeah! Rinda! Oh yeah! Michael Rinda! Woo! Rinda! I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. It's a hard name. I mean, it's spelled R-I-A-N-D-A. So, I mean, if it's Rinda or if it's Rinda, very sorry, Michael. I'm trying my best here, but Michael Rinda, we're just going to go with here. But anyways, this is his feature directorial debut. He actually co-directed with another gentleman, but this is really his first feature film. You might recognize him as one of the co-creators and one of the first writers of the first season of the Disney series called Gravity Falls. That's right, he actually was a co-creator and a writer on the first season, and also was a creative consultant, basically, is what he was for the second season. But he is a part of Gravity Falls. And a lot of Gravity Falls, I don't know if you've seen the show, but if you have, is very similar to how they made this film. It has that same kind of artistic feel. Like I said, I feel even Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse has very much that same feel too as well. And it's that same kind of like CGI actual animation along with the CGI elements, but with the graphics that make it very, computer animated. And they just did it so superbly. Now, Michael, I thought, did a really amazing job of directing this film. I mean, he gave us pretty much an actual, live action film, it felt like. As I was watching it, it felt like I was actually watching a real movie, like real live actors and stuff like that. It didn't feel like a CGI animated film, except for unless, when you're looking at it, you're like, oh yeah, well, I know it's CGI, but it still felt like I was watching an actual movie, not a animated film. And just, he really brought a great essence to it. I mean, he had great visualization of how he brought it to life. The landscapes of the cities, the look of the mall, the whole concept of what the, robots looked like, the people, and et cetera, all that kind of stuff. It just worked really well, and he had a great eye for it. So this movie has an all-star cast. I mean, we have a lot of SNL alumni in this film. We have a lot of great voice actors and great comedic actors that were involved with this film and lend their voices to these characters. And just, they all were so amazing and so well done and really brought the film to life. Now, to start us off, we have none other than the main character that the story is pretty much about, Miss Katie herself in the film, Miss Abby Jacobson. Oh yeah, Abby Jacobson, woo! So Abby Jacobson, you might recognize as one of the half people from the show Broad City that Eliza Grazer did the show with on Comedy Central. She was also a co-creator, co-writer of the show, and she's been in several films over the years. Now, a couple films she's also lent one of her voices to, and one film she was actually in as follows. Now, the first film I'm going to talk about that I enjoyed her in was a film that is a sequel that I don't think gets enough recognition for how good of a sequel was, and I thought that they did a good job with this film. And I absolutely loved Abby's character in the film because it was very much Abby herself, a lot along the lines of her Broad City character, and I just really enjoyed her in the film. And then, of course, of the film, Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising. Oh yeah, Sorority Rising. Ooh, Neighbors 2. And Abby plays kind of like a realtor character that Seth Rogen and his lovely wife in the film end up interacting with throughout the film a little bit, and she is just super funny in it, and I love the characterization she brought to it. And I just thought she did a lot of great ad-libbing, and I just thought that pretty much every scene she was in, she just brought and delivered it very well, and just a really good take on that character. If you haven't seen Neighbors 2, definitely check it out for Abby's performance. She was actually really superb in it. Now, the second film that she did was another voiceover role. I actually haven't had a chance to watch this yet. I do own it, but I haven't had a chance to watch it. But from my understanding, she did a really good job of, giving a voiceover in the film, making it really enjoyable, and just was a great addition to the cast. And that, of course, is the film called The Lego Ninjago Movie. Oh, yeah, the Lego Ninjago film. Ooh. So this is another CGI animated film of Lego characters that they created around the same time as the Lego Movie, and it's pretty much about the Ninjago Legos characters and kind of them having to save the world, basically. And Abby plays one of the main characters, and she, just from my understanding, did a superb job of bringing that character to life and giving it a voice and giving it the character a type of personality and all that kind of cool stuff. Can't wait to eventually watch it, which, like I said, I just haven't gotten around to it, but definitely going to check it out. But if you're a big Abby Jacobson fan and you love Broad City, definitely check out the Lego Ninjago film for her voiceover. She did a superb job, I've heard. So when it comes to Abby's performance, voiceover for the film, The Mitchells vs. the Machine, I really enjoyed her as Katie. I thought she did a good job of, presenting that, like, a teen angst type of character that's just going off to college, a fresh 18-year-old, and I thought that her voice was perfect for the character, because she really does sound like she's still, like, that age, even though she's in her 30s now. But still, at the same time, she brought a great, presentation to who Katie was. You felt her anxiety, you felt her fear, you felt her love, you felt her, ideas and her bringing this character to life, and you just really enjoyed her, and you thought she was a really great character. And I thought Abby did a great job of bringing that to life. If you haven't seen Abby Jacobson in anything, definitely check it out. She's amazing, and she's a great actress. So that brings me to the second actor I'll be talking about that lent their voice to this film. And that is none other than Katie's dad in the film, Mr. Mitchell himself. And that, of course, is voiced by the amazing and talented Mr. Danny McBride! Oh yeah, Danny McBride! Woo! Oh my god, Danny McBride is the bomb. Absolutely love him and everything, from his short little role in Due Date, to his performance in The Righteous Gemstones, also in The Vice Principals and so forth. He is just an amazing comedian and so mumuch fun. Now, a couple of things I really enjoyed him and thought he was great. Now, the first film is a great James Franco film, Natalie Portman film, that just, I think, doesn't get enough recognition for how funny it was and just how fun it was. And then, of course, the film called Your Highness. Oh, yeah. Your Highness. Oh, yeah. So this is basically kind of like supposed to be like a medieval, magical land, sci-fi, fantasy type of film. That's like really kind of like a mockumentary, or like a comedy, mocking comedy version type of film of like those type of medieval films with magic and sorcery and stuff like that. Kind of like Willow, but with, basically character that likes to get high all the time, and it's just super hilarious. And Danny did a great job of playing the main character in the film, and just worked so well with James Franco, Natalie Portman, and everyone else that was in the film. And he just brought a great presence character that was very much Danny McBride. And it's just like so freaking funny just how he interacts with everyone, and just how like endearing his character is, even though he's like very much a smartass. But still, at the same time, you're rooting for him through the whole movie, and that's just how great Danny is at acting, and he brought that to life. Really great film. If you haven't seen Your Highness, definitely check it out, people. It's a comedy gem classic, super hilarious, super fun, and got lots of great heart. Now, the second film that I'll be talking about that he did is another great comedy film that has Andy Samberg in it, Bill Hader, and, Isla Fisher, and so many great other actors, too, that was directed by one of the Lonely Island guys. And then, of course, the film called Hot Rod. Oh, yeah, Hot Rod. Ooh, so Danny McBride plays one of, Andy Samberg's character's friends in the film, one of his posse of his stunt career, and he is absolutely so funny in it, and I just really enjoyed him, and he works so well off everyone, and he had a lot of great one-liners in the film that were just, pure gold and very Danny McBride-like, and he just was so fun and so hilarious, and I just really enjoyed, the presentation he brought to the character, because he wasn't like some of his other characters. He was very that same kind of deadpan, asshole type of character, comedy character, and he just did a good job of portraying that, and you kind of hate him in the film, but at the same time you like him too, and just some of the interactions that he has between some of the characters, the lines were so hilarious, and Danny just brought a great essence and a great vibe to the film. If you haven't seen Hot Rod, definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. Now, when it comes to Danny McBride's voiceover for the film, I totally at first did not recognize his voice because he altered it, I feel. He really brought a new dynamic to his acting, and you could totally see that in this film. He is so on point as the dad in this film. Absolutely loved it. He really brings a great dad quality vibe to it. He brings a great essence, and he just was such a great performer in this film. And I just really enjoyed his character, and he really brought to life Mr. Mitchell to the T. And I just loved his interactions with, Abby Jacobson, and their dynamic worked so well, and then playing, off of Mrs. Mitchell, Maya Rudolph's character, and how they all worked so well together. And just, Danny did a great job of bringing, giving a different voice vibe of his, of himself, and you're really not recognizing his voice unless you really are paying attention. Because, like I said, he sounds so different, and I just thought he brought a great essence to who Mr. Mitchell is, and how, and, why he feels the way he does, why he is acting the way he does, because he wants things to be a certain way because it didn't go his way for his character. And I just thought Danny did a great job of bringing that to life. If you're a Danny McBride fan, definitely check him out in The Mitchells vs. the Machines. He was awesome and amazing in the film, and did an amazing voiceover. So that brings me to the next cast member I'm going to be talking about. And that, of course, is Mrs. Mitchell herself, Miss Maya Rudolph. Oh yeah, Maya Rudolph. Woo! Maya Rudolph. Woo! Oh my God. Absolutely love Maya Rudolph and anything she is in, from SNL to Sisters to, pretty much anything she's ever done. She is always awesome hilarity. She's super fun. She is awesome. She's hot. She is just a really fun actress and comedian, and is always a joy to watch. Now, a couple of things I really enjoyed her in and thought she was great as follows. Now, the first film happens to be a great comedy film that came out in 2011, and has a huge all-star cast from Melissa McCarthy to Kristen Wiig, to Ellie Kemper, and directed by the amazing Paul Feig. And then, of course, the film called Bridesmaids. Oh yeah, Bridesmaids. Ooh. Now, she plays pretty much the title character of the film besides Kristen Wiig, and she is the bride to be in the film, and she is just on point, awesome this film. I absolutely loved her, relationship with Kristen Wiig's character. I enjoyed her relationship with how things were going wrong for the wedding planning, and everything that they interacted and encountered in the film, and just some of the performances that were so intense towards the end of the film were so good, and you really felt like this was really happening to her. And I just thought that, Maya did an amazing job of bringing that to life. and just giving us a really well-rounded performance. If you haven't seen Bridesmaids, definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. Now, the second film that she was in, or I should say series she was in, which is a compilation of 2 films, and is a great Adam Sandler series that is just so much fun, and she was just a really great addition to that series of films. And that, of course, is the grown-up films. Oh yeah, the grown-up films. Ooh, the grown-up films. Oh my god, these are such great films. And Mia plays Chris Rock's wife in the 2 films. And they worked so well together and was so stinking funny, especially in the second one when the scene where like the littlest boy, his diaper needs to be changed, and she's like, that's your son. Absolutely hilarious. And some of the scenes, like especially the scene in the second one too, where they get the new fitness instructor. And she's like, I got a 2-part question type of deal. And she goes, then how can I shove my tongue down your throat? Oh my god, I started laughing so hard. It was absolutely pure hilarious. She was so awesome in this film. So funny, so well-rounded. Very well acted. Just a really great addition to that, amazing cast of people that just worked so well with each other. And she was just a really great asset to that film. If you haven't seen The Grown Ups, definitely check them out. They're worth the watch for Maya. She was amazing in the films. Now, it comes to her voiceover in The Mitchells vs. the Machines. I really enjoyed it. I loved her as the mother. I thought she really brought a great motherly vibe to the character. I thought you felt for her, you enjoyed her, and you were rooting for her because she was trying to be kind of the mediator between Kate and the father. And just kind of being that cool side mom that really had some great one-liners and was really a great addition to that, that film, to those characters. And I just really enjoyed her. You fell in love with her. You enjoyed her. I just thought she did a really amazing job, and I thought that she brought a really great class to the character as well, and just did a really great voiceover. If you haven't seen The Mitchells vs. the Machine yet, for Maya's performance, she was awesome in it. Definitely check it out, people. She's an amazing actress. Now, like I said, this film has a huge ensemble cast of voiceovers, and a couple honorable mentions I'd like to talk about. Of course, as one of the main villains, the PAL computer that is trying to take over the world, is voiced by the amazing and awesome Oscar-winning actress, Miss Olivia Colman. Oh yeah, Olivia Colman. She is such an amazing actress. I've loved her since I saw her in Hot Fuzz. Since she was in The Favorite, she was amazing in that she won her Oscar for. She just is outstanding and awesome, and I thought she did a good job of playing the main bad guy villain, and her great voice was perfect for that character, of that, AI character, and just brought a great, kind of menacing presence to the character. She was really enjoyable. A couple other honorable mentions are as such as well. Now, these 2 SNL alumni, I think, were my favorite characters in this entire film. And that's the 2 defective robots, one known as Eric, and the other one known as Dev5000, which was absolutely a hilarious name. And that, of course, is voiced by the great Beck Bennett, which is an SNL who is currently on SNL at the time still, and has done a few movies over the years now. And then, of course, the great, amazing Mr. Fred Armisen, too, as well, who's absolutely freaking hilarious in everything he does, from Portlandia to a documentary Now to anything he's ever been in. These 2 were my absolute favorite of the film. They were so stinking hilarious and funny. I laughed my butt off the hardest to these 2 characters because they were just so stinking funny. They gave these robots such character and such great lines that just were so on point hilarious. And I just absolutely loved the hilariousness of these characters and just what they brought to the table, and they made the film so more enjoyable, and just the all-time my favorite characters of this film. They were so good. If you haven't seen Beck Bennett or Fred Armisen or anything, you definitely check them out. They're amazing comedians. They're awesome and amazing, and just really well-rounded performers, and just all around a great addition. These people were a great addition to this film. Now, what is The Mitchells vs. the Machines about? Basically, what the film is about is this AI basically decides that the humans are evil, and that the human that created her has has basically abandoned her, that she needs to get rid of all the humans and just take over the world, and that the whole world would be better off if it was just all machines. And basically, as the world is being taken by the machines, the last people standing are the Mitchells, and it's up to them to save the world. And the movie's basically about them and their, conquest to save the world and stop these machines from taking over. It's such an amazing film. Oh my gosh, such a fantastic film. This is probably one of the best picture animation films they put out in a long time. I mean, this is better than Soul, I feel. I think it's better than Ray of the Last Dragon. This film was just so point amazing, and I can't believe it took so long to get this to come out. It was so amazing and well done, from the, like I said, the landscape, the CGI animation, to the voiceovers, to the directing, to the direction of the film. It just was all so well done. And like I said, it was like literally watching a live action film, is just how good they did it. And it runs like a live action film did. And it is just so superbly done. Huge 10 giant gold movie box stuff on this one. It is a must-see, a must-have. I can't wait for this to come out on 4K. Can't wait to add it to the collection. I just was so impressed with this film. I really enjoyed it, and I can't get enough of it. Such a great film. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on Netflix now. It is amazing, fun, and a excellent film. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you have been here before, don't forget to check out any of the older or newer stuff you might not have seen behind you. As always, people, check out my awesome links down below, where it gets to my Patreon page, or even the horror pack. Where, if you enjoy my content, you want to show some support, definitely check out my Patreon page and subscribe, where you get to see amazing outtakes, bloopers, and all that kind of cool stuff. And it will actually help support me to make better and amazing videos for you guys. And I appreciate it. And as always, people, I will catch you in the next one.